pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome everybody to SRM Racing Media tonight. The drivers of the SCL Winston Cup Series have a little throwback week. They are live at North Wilkesboro for 125 laps of action. Mike Demoni up in the booth, and as always with me is Zach Woods. Zach, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited to see this absolute throwback race here at North Wilkesboro. You nailed it right on the head with these drivers trying to attack something a little bit different for their time out here tonight. Definitely challenging, as we've made some mental notes here watching their practice session. Just gonna be a different kind of racing for these drivers as they try to attack this very unique racing surface.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes when you go to these little bit different tracks, you get a little shrunken field, but not tonight. We got 33 cars that are participating here in practice. We'll see how that goes once we get into the race. But last week's winner, Justin Lewis, who also is the points leader, just needs to basically keep it clean and, you know, finish mid-pack or so, and he looks like he might have this championship locked up this season.
Yeah, Lewis right now running third on the speed charts here for practice, so I don't think he has any intentions of middling around in the mid-pack. Seems how we've seen a lot of incidences occur when a lot of drivers race 2, sometimes 3 wide with one another, sometimes by choice, but sometimes not in this field. So I don't think we're going to be expecting that 07 machine falling very far outside the top 5, nevertheless outside the top 15 or so.
Yeah, definitely not. He'll try and stay up front and see what he can do here. But it is one of the more difficult tracks if you are impatient. This definitely is one of those that you have to get in a rhythm, and you have to basically be patient and kind of let the race come to you, because not only is it, a short track, but it also kind of, has uphill sections a little downhill. So it's definitely one you have to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And the racing surface here at North Wilkesboro, it chews up tires, and these drivers are going to have to manage their throttle time, especially through the center of the corner, getting off up at these challenging corners. Can't put too much wheel into it, or you will wind up spinning out. And unfortunately, that's all too often an occurrence for some of these drivers.
Yeah, definitely sitting here watching practice. We've seen them take the corner a little bit narrower than they would have liked, and they barely touch that grass, and that just sends them out into the outside wall. They are getting set to start this qualifying run, so we'll see who can get the best qualifying position, because as we've seen in some of these instances, like you said, you don't want to be mid-pack or back, as it kind of leaves the decision out of your hands of how your race is going to go. So out on track now is Austin Call, one of the faster drivers we saw in practice. See how he makes his way around the track. Pole position for the moment, as we have a couple other guys jump up there. Matt Schlosser, Jonathan Casebear. Ooh, just as we click over to Schlosser, he goes around Maxwell Caldwell with a 1885, Joshua Yarbrough's 1877.
Yeah, you can't get too high here at North Wilkesboro. As you can see, there are a multitude of lanes to drive this track, but it doesn't mean that they're all useful. So you saw Schlosser get way up high there in the corner and tag the wall, of course, with depending on how strict your qualifying rules are, Mike. You tap the wall once, you get one incident point. That whole lap, you have to throw it out the window. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And here's a good old throwback scheme for Johnny Lefevers Jr. Ooh, into the outside wall and bounces down to the inside. We got Brandon Murray on track. One of several rookies competing tonight.
Yeah, they're trying to put on a good show here for the summer edition of SCL action, and I think for the most part we've seen a lot of decent stories from some of these rookies throughout the field, so they're gonna vie for whoever is the top rookie of the bunch right now. You're looking at him on track, Ricky Barberry here in the 54, putting down some really good laps.
Well, speaking of putting down a good lap, Lilith Peters didn't think she was very fast in practice, but comes out and sits second right now with an 1868.
Yeah, no idea where this came from, because we saw that 101 machine in practice sitting at about the 18th, 19th position on the chart. Fairly consistent, just hanging inside the top 20. Maybe clean track was all that Peters needed, as it is right now a second on the starting grid for her right now.
If anybody else is out on track, Justin Horton backs into that outside wall. I think that's going to kind of be a theme when we do see cautions brought out, is somebody overdrove the corner and winds up coming too high, almost like Matt did there again, but was able to stay off the wall there.
Yeah, different look for this 400 machine tonight. You're going to see a number of drivers, as mentioned earlier, sporting some throwback schemes. Not all of them, but some of them. So this is one of the cleaner ones here in the field.
We got Mike Peters out on track. Raising
Yeah,
Cane's.
he's got it. Yeah, he normally sports Raising Cane's on his rides, and it does look different this week than in weeks past. So maybe if we get Mike in the booth at the end of this thing, we can hear his story behind the paint tonight.
Adam Lowe racing a throwback scheme as well.
Yeah, this is a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Xfinity ride. See, he's got the JM on the front and just that classic red on the car.
See if anybody else is going to try and take a lap here. Like they're pretty much out of time, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So Austin Call will be man who gets the pole award here.
Yeah, lost speed out of that 18 machine. You see a little bit of a different paint, bringing that old school logo to what was already an old school paint scheme. I like the nod there. As you can see up front, we have Austin Call. He's going to be the one that leads him down to green. Of course, for SCL competition, we're going to have a 3-minute drivers meeting before we begin. Just enough time for us to go through the order with you tonight. Here it is, throwback at North Wilkesboro for the SCL Winston Cup Series. Austin Call is going to get your pole, and let me tell you, Little Speeders was not too far off from that pole position. You can see the time discrepancy up here on your screen. Followed up is a name that I personally have not seen before here in SCL competition, GT Hawkins in that 14 machine. Excited to see what that 14 machine is going to wind up doing here tonight. Ricky Barberry, as mentioned earlier, is going to muscle that 54 to a 4th place. Isaac Love will start 5th, and alongside him, a guy who likes to ride the wall no matter where we are, is Joshua Yarborough. Lucky for us, he is starting on the outside lane of row 3. Adam Lowe will start 7th with Bryce Bailey in the 868 machine. Had some troubles during qualifying, but looks like he buttoned up a pretty good lap there to start 8th. Justin Lewis will start 9th, and then on the outside of the 5th row is rookie Ollie Marston in the 35 Napa Chevrolet. Back behind these two, we have Lee Campbell in the 014, not to be confused with the 14 that's up front, with Johnny Lefevers Jr. starting beside him. Maxwell Caldwell, your 2-time defending champion, will start 13th with Michael Caffrey in the 777 machine starting 14th. Rolling off 15th will be Justin Horton in as a teammate to Lilith Peters back here in 15th, and beside him is Matt Schlosser in that aforementioned 400 Budweiser machine. Matthew McMeekin in the 041, very familiar paint scheme for all of you returning SCL viewers, will start 17th alongside, once again, our friendly Canadian Bruno Latour. Raymond Kimmel, a rookie in SCL action, will pilot the 783 machine from the 19th position, and alongside him is that signature bright neon yellow number 2 machine of Todd Merkel. Brandon Murray, a rookie, will roll off 20th tonight in that 21st rather, excuse me, in that 20 machine. Beside him is Brandon Coignier, who will pilot the 891 for tonight's event. I think a new name for us up here in the booth as well. You can see that R beside his name designates a rookie making a splash tonight. Mike Peters, as mentioned earlier, is going to have an uphill climb in front of him, starting 23rd, with Ronnie Hurst, a rookie piloting the 88, will start 24th. Back behind these drivers, as we scroll on down here on our graphic, we can see here Jeremy Flanagan, teammate to Lilith Peters, starting in the 872 machine 25th with Jonathan Casebeer. 27th is Cole Watts with Brandon Hersing in the 722 machine, starting 28th. 29th will be Mark Brown in that 73 machine, as you can see here on the screen, with Jeffy Weimer starting 30th. Also on the timing and scoring charts tonight is Chad Waller, Coley Oliphant, and Gary Madu, who you do not see out on the racetrack as of this moment. The last, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 cars did not post a qualifying time for tonight's event. Mike, we're going to have a good one here at North Wilkesboro.
Let's hope so. We've got 27 cars that are on track at the moment, as looks like Cole Watts, Brandon Hersing, Mark Brown, Chad Waller, Coley Oliphant, and Gary Madu all have not made it to the track, so they're either going to wait to get in their cars or they are not going to take part tonight. But up front we have Lilith Peters and Austin Call.
Yeah, these drivers are going to be riding around this track here for a total of 3 laps. This is typical practice from SCL competition, and it will be Austin Call leading them down to the green flag. I'm excited to see Austin continue to build momentum. He's been away from SCL competition for a little while, and we had the opportunity to talk to him last week. He's looking to hit the ground running here when it comes to racing in North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how these guys handle the short track racing here. Pace car is in. Austin Call and Lilith Peters will lead them to the green flag, and we are underway at North Wilkesboro for the SCL Winston Cup Series.
The battle is now for second as Call moseys on away from the rest of the field. They are 2 by 2 as far as the eye can see. Well, that's not true. They're only 2 by 2 for about 4 rows back behind the leader.
Yeah, these guys are trying to get down to get into the racing line, but Yarborough and Adam Lowe are side by side. Bryce Bailey and Justin Lewis as well. They're not really going anywhere either.
Look at the 07 kind of washing up the hill here. This is a battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. And you can see here, nobody's given an inch early on. You have to get these spots very early in the run if you want to be able to make some hay. And that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to this racetrack.
Yeah, Adam Lowe had a little mistake there. Gonna drop a couple positions as there's 3 wide racing back here. Oh. As Adam Lowe gets into Justin Lewis. And it looks like, I'm gonna say that was probably the 868.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take
pause that. Yeah. Let's go back and take a look.
It kind of felt like something was going to happen here, Mike. They were 3 wide here on the opposite end of the racetrack, and nothing really good happens at North Wilkesboro when you're 3 wide. But you can see the 868. This is Bryce Bailey hanging on the outside line. We talked about how the 58 made a mistake going down the backstretch, found himself in this 3 wide position. Here's Lewis trying to be aggressive on the inside to get a 2 for 1. Let's see what happens. Everybody's just kind of coming up, and the 58 moves up.
Yeah.
And I would say the 868 did nothing wrong. He's just kind of in his own lane. And
yep.
I've been in that position, Mike. Been that middle car in the 3 wide coming out off the corner. It's a terrifying place to be. So I definitely understand maybe the jitteriness that we saw out of Adam Lowe right there.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't know where really to go because he didn't know how much room he had to the outside, and he knew that Justin Lewis wasn't going to give him too much room down low either.
And that's such a benefit of a live spotter, right? If you have a friend that's able to come into these races and spot for you, or if you have a teammate that's taking the week off that hops on in, or however you acquire a spotter, those are the kinds of advantages that perhaps a spotter could give to a driver, right? You have the information coming to you at real time, quarter lane to the inside, a half a lane to the outside. you're not going to get that with any kind of software out there that will feed that to you at an appropriate time. So that's just kind of the limitations that iRacing has when it comes to giving some drivers some information. Definitely a tight spot to be in.
Yeah, definitely. It's not something that that you can just kind of be like, oh, okay, whatever. It's you need it, and you need it now. It's not not just all clear.
It's time sensitive.
Yeah, like, okay, well, you're 3 wide. Well, how 3 wide am I?
Yeah, not all 3 wide races are made equal, and some are more sketchy than others. So 2x2 we go here. Call is now going to be on the button as he gets a great jump here. And as I say that, GT Hawkins now finds himself in second place. Don't know a whole lot about GT except he's fast early.
Yeah, GT Hawkins, I believe he usually races somewhere else on Wednesday nights, if I'm not mistaken. I remember calling some of his races when he was with the Xfinity series that we used to call, but he definitely is a guy to look out for as they're battling back here. Isaac Love and Lilith Peters. All these guys side by side.
Well, great move there by Love. I really thought that Peters was going to have the advantage in 3 and 4, and Love makes the pass on the outside. So something there for Isaac Love.
Whoa. Back in the back, back in the back.
They're all bunching up, but they all save it for now. Look at Bruno Latour flying around on the outside in that 71 machine. Wow, he sent it into 3 and 4. He's going to gain 3 or 4 positions with that move.
Yeah, everybody was checking up on the inside because of Ricky Burberry there down on the low side, just lost it and had to check up. But now it's like Lee Campbell's kind of going the wrong way as well. These guys battling back towards the back. It looks like they're kind of checking up, trying just to get in that straight line, trying to log some laps. So
yeah, you talked about it. Ooh, there's a little bit of contact, but they're no worse for wear. They're right in front of the 95. But you talked about it at the top of the show, Mike. This track demands patience out of these drivers. There's a lot of give and take going on right now. I'm impressed with how cordial it's been back here in kind of the rougher parts of the field.
Yeah, because some of these guys back towards the back have some speed, especially when you get down to these guys like Mike Peters. You have Justin Lewis.
Oh, Todd Merkel into the inside fence at the start finish line. He got sideways coming out of 4. Sorry, Mike, but
yep.
That definitely could have been a lot bigger than what it actually was.
Let's take a look real quick.
Here he is on the opposite end of the racetrack. Now he's going to try to roll through 3 and 4.
Oh, it just gets loose.
Yeah, and sometimes when you get loose like that and you hit the inside fence like that, your car winds up pointing the opposite direction. That's when iRacing throws the caution. But because Merkel kept it straight and kept it pointed the right way, there's no caution for that incident.
These guys have kind of settled down back here. We got Michael Caffrey on the high side.
Yeah, look at that 95. Mike Peters, he's trying to make up for lost time back here, weaving his way to the front. He knows he's quick. He talked about it right before that Merkel incident, Mike. There's a lot of drivers back here that are very, very quick.
Yeah, Justin Lewis trying to make some hay here while he can, as he's got Flanagan down on his inside. It looks like Lee Campbell just in front of him.
And this car is notorious for racing badly in dirty air. And unfortunately, here at North Wilkesboro, with a field this size, Mike, there's dirty air everywhere, unless if you're Austin Call. So your car's going to race pretty miserably if you're a guy like Justin Lewis back here in 18th.
Yeah, Justin Lewis is back there. Adam Lowe as well. And these guys are still racing side by side. And Justin Lewis getting another couple positions here. Bruno Latour and McMeekin battling side by side there for a little bit.
Yeah, this is a battle for the 10th position on track. McMeekin has it. Latour wants it, or perhaps he just gave it away. We saw a big move from that 71 machine on the outside not too long ago. Gained a few positions because the field checked up. Kind of looks like the field is slinking back up to Bruno here.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to take advantage of that little checkup there and got a few laps under his belt. As he almost got into the 20 of Brandon Murray there, but Murray checks up and backs out. And just as I say that, it looks like Bruno Latour did the same thing, made a little mistake, checked up, had to get out of it, and now the 400 forward of Matt Schlosser is going to try and take advantage.
Yeah, Schlosser to the inside here, trying to get that momentum as he pulls the center of the corner well. But the advantage that Bruno has up top is that he's able to get that launch off if he makes the straightaway as straight as possible. Kind of looks like Bruno just let him have it there so he can get back in line.
Looks like Ronnie Hurst is a damaged machine headed down pit road.
We're taking a look now. This is a battle between Brandon Murray and Bruno Latour. Latour locks it up going into the corner. They're going to bump. No worse for wear. That's short track racing. Latour pulls over, kind of knows what he did, and move Murray up to the 12th position now.
And Mike Peters now all over the back bumper, and Justin Lewis is making his way up there as well.
No rest for the weary. Bruno Latour has a parachute on the back of the 71 machine right now, free falling, and just needs to get back in line, find his rhythm. There is some speed in that 71, but it's not as quick as these two who we've been talking about moving up through the field together, the 95 and the 07.
Yeah, that's just not something you like to see. And as we're talking about all these battles up front, Austin Call is basically by himself. He's got almost a 2-second lead.
One is the loneliest number, all by myself. I mean, you know, play a tune, Austin. You can probably jam to whatever you want up here, all by himself, indeed. And I think a good perk that he finds himself having right now, Mike, is that not only does he have a gap between himself and second place, but he's got a gap in between him and what will be lap traffic still, so he's able to put down quality laps.
Yeah, he's got about a second, a little over a second before he catches the tail end of this field, which is going to be, looks like Ronnie Hurst up there.
Yeah, you mentioned a few laps ago that Ronnie was hurting in that 88 Chevrolet. And it looks like Austin Call will try to put him as the first running car on track a lap down.
These guys are just kind of out here cruising now. Lilith Peters is all over the back bumper of GT Hawkins, but not really making any attempt to pass at the moment. Isaac Love and Maxwell Caldwell also kind of hanging out here. Johnny Lefevers.
Yeah, looking back here through the field, I love seeing all the different paints that some of these drivers are bringing to the track when it comes to throwback weekend. You mentioned probably one of my favorites in the field already, Mike, and that would be Johnny Lefevers up here in the 6th position. I'm glad he's doing well, showing off that old school Tide ride. Really classy paint.
Old school with a lot of chrome.
A lot of chrome, no expense. Not used, I guess, here in the 45 ride. Just chrome everything.
Let's see. Looking back through the field, trying to find a little bit of action going on, and it looks like everybody's pretty well stable where they're at. Bruno Latour still has that parachute on and going backwards after making that incredible move on the outside, but now he is now in 20th position, but has about almost a second and a half gap back to the next car. Let's jump up front here, see how close. Oh, looks like Austin Call was able to get by Ronnie Hurst. There's Ronnie Hurst, goes up high and
oh no, he's gonna get into our second place competitor, GT Hawkins. Oh no, multiple drivers trying to get out around the lap car of Ronnie Hurst. You can see Hurst. I thought they were going to be okay here, Mike. The 88 was so far outside of the racing line. I thought that perhaps he was just going to pull over and let these folks by. Did something happen on exit to trigger this caution?
It has to be on exit because all the cars are down low except for him. Oh, GT just floats up.
Yeah, net code right there between those two drivers, but definitely GT Hawkins moving up. You look at Lilith Peters trying to evade, getting out of the way. Good job by all these other drivers to skedaddle on by, but you pointed out, Mike, that 14 kind of floated up high, and there was definitely net code between those two racing machines. You could see the gap, but that 14 went from the bottom of the racetrack to the very top, just kind of assuming he was going to clear him.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. You can see Ronnie up there. Call it the third lane up there, basically. He still kind of stays out there and just barely taps.
Well, this is going to change some strategy here eventually when we're going to wind up going back, but let's take another closer look here. Yeah.
It almost looks like the 14 thought he was clear.
Yeah, and it was really close. I mean, it definitely was close.
So that will kind of shake it up a little bit. Looks like everybody 9th on back right now. Well, 8th now is another driver heads to pit lane. Has made their first pit stop. Well, I guess Justin Lewis technically made his on lap 5, but
well, he didn't do that willingly as he was involved in that first incident. But yeah, this definitely changes things. It's something we're very used to here for SCL competition. Had a really nice green flag run right there. Mike, you could say that was some quality racing that we just experienced here on Sim Racing Media out of SCL competition. I think that would be classified as I would say right now probably the 4th consecutive race in our history with SCL of nice sporty racing. I just want to pat myself on the back for now while it still holds. As we've had a 35 lap run here under green. But yeah, you are right. It does shuffle up some strategy with the front 8 on a very different strategy than the rest of the field.
yeah, it gives Justin Lewis the opportunity to get back that track position that he had as the pace car is in. Austin Call has the button down and away, and he sets sail once again.
Pay attention here now for the battle for third between McMeekin and that 777 machine of Caffrey. That battle quickly dissipates, and the freight train is looking to assemble now with all the drivers who just took tires. They have to be patient. They can't run over each other trying to get around these guys.
Yeah, definitely not. You see the pace car sitting there waiting.
Ooh. Oh, Joshua Yarborough, I thought he was going to get turned there, but they all played nice there coming out of turn 2. Now on the opposite end of the racetrack, you can see Yarborough taking a much higher line than most of these drivers on the opposite end of the racetrack.
Yeah, and you have Latour trying to make his way up there. You have Michael Caffrey, Jeremy Flanagan, all getting kind of bumped and pushed around, and behind that you have Isaac Love, who keeps getting a rear view mirror full of Oh, as we have a car sideways.
Yeah, we do. Just trying to take a look at timing scoring to confirm who that is, and it is indeed. Oh, Mike Peters involved. Was he involved in that last incident, or no? This is new. Mike Peters on pit road. That car is destroyed.
See here.
This is going into turn 3.
Matt Schlosser goes to the high side here.
You see Adam Lowe here in the 58. Way back. He's the last car in this picture. I don't know if that originates here or further on back. Look at Schlosser up here on that third groove, making it work.
There's a 12 sliding back down in front of the 20. .868. Whoa.
Did he miss a gear? I think man, I just feel like when a car lurches like that, that's my gut reaction. I mean, he was going in a straight line.
Yeah, and then he just slid every which direction. Case beer gets by.
So how did Mike Peters wind up on pit road?
I am not. See if we can figure that out real quick.
Peters, of course, was one of those two drivers flying up through the field with Justin Lewis, and the difference between them was that Lewis pitted, or Lewis did not pit, rather, excuse me, but Peters did with this group. Here he is at the back end of this.
Touches the 35 just barely. You guys were racing hard back here in the back of the pack here.
Everything looks pretty square right here. Man, he
almost the same place that 868 lost at the next lap.
Absolutely. Huh. Heavy contact there.
Yeah, so looks like he's back on track. Spent 2 minutes and some odd time on pit lane.
Well, back up front, we're going to have familiar foes duking it out now. Austin Call, and now Justin Lewis has found himself in second.
And now we are down to basically 3 cars that hadn't hit pit lane. I mean, Justin Lewis last pitted on lap 5, so, you know, maybe. Pace car is in. Austin Call takes off, but Justin Lewis does not let him get that jump that he had on everybody else. Side by side, they go through 1.
The first car with tires will be Lilith Peters there on the outside lane of row 2, trying to make her way up to the front, as these two drivers who have spent a lot of time racing around each other going to try to duke it out for the lead.
And don't look now, but Maxwell Caldwell down on the inside, going to try and put McMeekin 3 wide here and get him stuck in the middle, and he will, and McMeekin will turn him.
Oh no, heavy contact. Oh my goodness, drivers looking to thread the needle. You can see Bruno Latour stopped. Oh, Maxwell Caldwell almost getting into his team owner there, Todd Merkel. And you saw Maxwell Caldwell. He's taking it 3 wide, trying to, make up some ground, trying to battle Lilith Peters, trying to keep up with that 101 machine. Found himself in a 3 wide situation that eventually leads to this.
Yeah, you see him looking to the inside. McMeekin's still there in the middle.
You can see the 777 floating up a little bit, but right now everybody's doing okay. I mean, Yeah, I mean, this you sort of expect Caffrey to drift up towards the wall, but I mean, he has every right not to. Then you have the 20 machine just
I mean,
just getting into
the
it.
20 machine locked its brakes, and
Yeah,
still, I'm gonna stop it right here, and let's see who is that.
this the 783.
783. Let's
Mm-hmm.
let's look at this.
Trying to thread the needle
And then gets loose.
and pokes himself while trying to throttle back up. Raymond Kimmel there. Excuse me. I tried really hard to turn away from the mic. Normally I'm so good about clicking mute, and it just, that wasn't in the cards for me right now. So sorry for anybody wearing earplugs. I'm here all week, or at least till Wednesday.
Just all 3 series. So,
You're stuck with me.
yeah. So Lilith Peters is gonna wind up coming out up front as Austin Call has to come down pit road, and Justin Lewis also comes down. So that will switch the field around just a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, and it looks like the admins right now, they're trying to sort out who's to blame there for that incident. No penalties given out just yet, although we have seen a number of drivers receive penalties throughout this race for various incidences. Something that our viewers should know about when it comes to a track like this, incident limit and incident limit penalties is a huge topic of conversation when you're beating and banging on each other. 21 will get you a drive down pit road, and 29 will see you disqualified. So keep that in mind for your favorite driver. If they've been involved in a number of these incidences, you're rooting for them to take it slow right now. And Brandon Murray was given the EOL.
It looks like he got the EOL for not stopping fast enough, is what it looked like.
Up front, we have Lilith Peters and Joshua Yarborough. We talked about how that 77 machine likes to drive the high line. It seems like every time we see that Toyota, it's always right next to the fence. So we'll have to see how aggressive he is on this restart.
Yeah, Lilith Peters getting her chance to start the race here.
Great jump here by the 101. Schlosser back there in that 400 machine also got a good jump, but now look at Yarborough kind of rolling that third lane. He's so used to driving up there, throttling down the backstretch. Oh no, Ollie Marston gets into Isaac Love, Love into the fence, collecting the 891 machine as well. That's Brennan Coignier and the 2 machine of Todd Merkel's in it.
Michael Catfree's in it.
Take a look at what happened here. Everything looks pretty good on corner entry.
Yeah, coming through here.
This was, this is inside the top 5. You got the 62 and 35 battling for 5th place. '62.
Oh,
Yeah, moving down the
moving
hill.
down.
Yep, getting into the 35. Look at that 54 machine of Barbary move. Get out of the way.
Oh,
Nowhere.
Adam Lowe,
There for
nowhere.
the 58 of Adam Lowe to go.
Same with the 891.
Caldwell got a piece of that. Merkel with a little boop.
We're trying to avoid it here.
Well, I mean, a race like this gives us a lot of opportunity to uh, think about what will become the Under Pressure Pressure Washing Tough Luck Award winner for this SCL event. As you know, Under Pressure Pressure Washing Services is accompanied by SCL driver Chris Vanderplatz, and he has graciously offered assistance to SCL in terms of financial benefits to help put on a great show. And we thank him for his support. If you are curious about Under Pressure Pressure Washing services, you can see possibly what the logo looks like on Maxwell Caldwell's 94 machine. He's in 12th right now. And the contact information for the Under Pressure Pressure Washing services will be distributed at the conclusion of this race, where we crown the Tough Luck Award winner for tonight's event.
Yeah, it's on the screen now. You can reach out to them via the phone number that's shown. Zach doesn't have that pleasure of seeing the logo on screen now, but they're all stacked up, ready to go. Pace car is in. Lilith Peters with the button. It's a pretty good jump, but Matt Schlosser's not letting her go.
Oh man, Schlosser on the outside line trying to just stay within shouting distance of first place. Look how hard he's going to send it here into turn 3. What a move by that 400. Send it in really deep. Doesn't matter. Peters is going to be able to throttle up and get away.
Yeah, we've seen that outside move work sometimes, but if they're the lead car, it doesn't seem to matter really where you're trying to drive to. It's just hard to get that pass there.
Yeah, clean air is king, and if you got that, then you're probably feeling pretty good, as there is an incident, and back here, oh no, it's going to involve Ollie Marston and the 891 machine as well. That's Courier. A number of drivers back here involved in that previous incident getting caught up in this one.
Ollie seems to be doing pretty good, and then looks like he just I'll say it looks like he just lost it there, and the 891 just came through. But let's go back. Let's see. Look at Justin Horton here.
Here's Horton in the 64, battling alongside Austin Call and Justin Lewis. Yikes.
And it seems to be the same spot. Like everybody keeps losing it coming off of 4 there and going sideways right across the start finish line.
I do think the 64 was trying to avoid the wreck that was in front of him, but yeah, it's definitely the same spot. Definitely a problem area that we talked about in practice, Mike, that we weren't really sure why, because it's on the front stretch. You would think that it would be fairly calm there, but that seems to be the highest problem issue.
Yeah, it definitely does. Bruno Latour telling me to reset the spec maps. Well, I only can do what it will allow me to for some reason.
Well, yeah, it's out of our hands at this point. Lap 72 of this 125 lap event, and we spent time refreshing during practice. So as much as we want to say are bad, it's not. And we did I know for us up here in the booth, it's really important for us to make sure, at least between Mike and I, we're on the same page with the majority of our drivers when it comes to paint. We try to make sure every week that we're as refreshed as humanly possible. So sometimes as a driver, you update a paint on Trading Paints and you don't click update. You just kind of assume that hey, just because I uploaded it, now it's on my car. And maybe it's on your end. So we'll have to reconvene and see. But there are a lot of good paints out here tonight. Thank you for all the drivers that are supporting in this throwback weekend.
Wow. The 872's been on pit road for almost 6 minutes now.
Yeah, and there's only one faster pair, so if you used it early, now you got to stay on pit road as the drivers are 2x2. Quick jump here by Peters, and back behind them, not a good start from the 45 machine, kind of bunches up the field. There's got to be contact here battling for the 5th position.
Yeah, the 45 is getting almost getting run over here by the 54 of Ricky Barbary. And then you have Jonathan Kaysberg down on the inside. And Austin Call just went sideways.
Oh my goodness. Huge implications for tonight's event as Austin Call finds himself wrecked. One of the, if not the strongest cars in the field tonight. We're going to have to see how it happened here on our SRM replay.
Let's jump to Austin Call. Oh.
In the same spot. Right in front of Maxwell Caldwell. Nowhere for the 868 machine to go. Look at Justin Lewis.
Justin Lewis involved.
Also in it. Wow. Bruno Latour got a good look at all that. It looks like he's going to be able. Look at Yarborough. Yarborough is.
Hit Latour.
No.
All right,
so there's a number of things to break down on this one.
Let's look here, see what happened to Yarborough.
Of course, Yarborough up here, he's in the 3rd spot.
Oh, tap the wall.
No, yeah, just a little bit. Oh, overcorrects it.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. I want Justin Lewis. Take a look from the onboard of Justin Lewis here.
Yeah, you can see the 18. This isn't a reactionary thing to what Yarborough's doing. They almost happened at the exact same time and nowhere for Lewis to go. I really thought Bruno Latour was going to get out of this thing unscathed. You can see by the in-depth replay here of that 71 machine, that's not the case. Oh, look at that. The 014 squeezing on by.
Oof.
That's Lee Campbell. Well, Mike, where do we go from here? If you are a driver that is trying to find their rhythm, is there anything constructive that you can wind up saying on the radio or saying to your teammates that might help right the wrong that we've been seeing here for the last 40 laps or so, 30 laps or so?
What do I have to do to get in first position?
Yeah, Lilith Peters doesn't seem to have any of these problems, right? Clean air is king.
It looks like whoever's up front, they get a good run, and then nobody can catch them. They're out of the way. They don't have to worry about anybody else around them. I know it's not obvious, but, that's where you want to be. But, you just have to be on the radio telling your driver, hey, just watch your marks, Just stay in your rhythm. And if you have a spotter, you're lucky because he'll be able to tell you, you know, where cars are around you.
Yeah, and right now the green's getting delayed because they're trying to work out timing and scoring with a few of these drivers. And talked about Austin Call earlier being one of those drivers up front. You know, Mike, this goes back to when the field split on strategy and you had Justin Lewis and Austin Call and some other drivers stay out, keep their track position. Well, then they had to go down pit road, and where did they find themselves when they did that? In the back. And that's ultimately why they're now involved in these incidents.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. You wind up going to the back, and then you wind up getting stuck back there. Lilith Peters, a monster restart out in front, and she's got almost a half second on Matt Slosser here. Slosser and Ricky Barbary side by side for second.
And look at this, excuse me, the 54 machine, there we go, is trying to carve out maybe a name for himself right now. Barbary, a rookie to SCL competition, new name to me, and takes second place on that high line.
Yeah, Matt Slosser got a little loose there coming out of 2. Had to check up just a bit, gave up that spot. The 45 going high now as Maxwell Caldwell goes down low, going to try and battle back up here as they are still side by side back there.
We saw Maxwell Caldwell involved in a couple incidences not too long in his way back up front, partially by avoiding the chaos that has ensued over the last 2 cautions. We're back behind him, another driver who's been involved in his fair share of battles tonight is the 62 machine of Isaac Love. Good bounce back from both of these two.
Yeah, definitely. He's been trying to battle back here. Isaac Love last pitted on lap 62, so he should be able to, I'm going to say, make the distance. Whereas Maxwell Caldwell last pitted on lap 39, so did all the other leaders in front of him here. So Isaac Love's sitting in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call on strategy. You got to be the first out of your group if you want to capitalize on that, and Love's the person for it. But back up front, the battle for the lead starting to tighten back up again.
And caution is out once again.
Multiple cars involved. We have Joshua Yarbrough, that familiar 0441 machine of McBeacon. I thought the pace car was somebody losing their mind before we cut away for replay, but taking a look here at exactly what happened.
Not really seeing anything at the moment.
It might, yeah. Austin Call getting into it with the 88 machine, booping him down.
Oh, there you go.
And then hard contact between him and the 041. But that originated between the driver of the 18 machine trying to go side by side here with the 88.
Yeah, the 18 looks like he thought the 88 was going to turn down more than he did. And then the 88 starts losing the back end. Looks like he's going to catch that grass, which allows him to correct it really quick right in front of the 041. He looks like the 891 able to make it through there just barely. But so McMeekin, Yarborough, Justin Horton, Jeremy Flanagan. It looks like Justin Horton called it a night. Flanagan's going to try and make some time up. Looks like Bryce Bailey's out, Brandon Murray's out, T.T. Hawkins, and Jeffrey Weimer.
Yeah, taking a look inside your top 10, a couple drivers. Now, I want to highlight both of them are 9th and 10th, respectively. Todd Merkel here in that tube machine. If you can remember back to the very, very first incident we thought was going to happen of tonight's event, it was Todd. Todd lost his car on the front stretch, first of many to do that. And he was almost lapped when it came back around to that first caution. Found himself last on the running order. He has survived and has made his way up to 9th. And then Ollie Marston, the rookie, it's been a yo-yo day for that 35 because, well, we've seen that 35 involved in a few cautions tonight. But to say, hey, I'm back where I started, that is a big feat there for the driver of the 35. So just two drivers that are hanging out just inside the top 10 that are worth mentioning.
Yeah, definitely. Todd Merkel was able to. I mean, it's almost worse if you were involved with Todd Merkel there because the caution didn't come out. He lost all that time on track. Pace car is in. Lilith Peters has the button down and away once again and gets a huge run as expected. Schlosser down on the inside is going to be battling with Ricky Barbary through 3 and 4 here.
Let's see, can these drivers manage their excitement here as we are now 30 laps to go for tonight's event? Just methodically, you got to make your way up through the field, and they're going to wreck for second. Schlosser gets into it with the 54 machine, and I think, again, this was a getting loose on the front stretch situation.
I don't know. I think that was a little more, I'm going to call it netcode just from watching it initially. But let's see how it pans out here.
54 up the hill. Yeah, he wiggles right there. It might be him hitting the wall. We don't know. Oh, tough break.
Yeah, it looks like
I think
he did get loose, hit that wall, and just bounce back down. Nothing you really can do about it, though. I mean, looked like he was trying to keep it on the wall and just it just came back off.
Yeah, and those two drivers, they were racing so well. Of course, it was a battle for second. You know what, Mike? I've seen a lot of wrecks inside about the top 8 tonight. Normally, the adage is if you're up front, you're safe. That's not the case today.
Well, I think part of it is you have the guys that are trying to, trying to win the race, trying to get in just that right position here. And, they're trying to, and also it's that tire range because we have guys that are on, pit on lap 70, 77, and we have guys that pit on lap 39 and 40. So you have a little bit of both kind of going back and forth, and you never know kind of what way that's going to affect the race.
Yeah, absolutely. These drivers are trying to make the most out of their strategy, and classic SCL fashion, we have a number of different strategies inside the top 10.
Definitely. And Justin Lewis is hanging back here now in 13th position. His competition for the championship is in first.
Yeah, right. No pressure. But Lilith Peters, from what we saw in practice, I just am beside myself because that one-on-one machine just wasn't very quick in practice. Just was hovering around that 20th, 19th position. And of course, we talked about the top of the show, laying a very surprising fast lap for qualifying that yielded second on the charts, and still very sporty.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw it has to be two different drivers, but two different styles, because when she first logged in, I wouldn't have put her up front, but she learned something in that little bit of practice, I guess, or maybe one of her teammates on the radio told her, hey, this is the way you get around here, and she took that to heart and is leading the field right now.
Well, to her outside is the 45 of Johnny Lefevers. Oh, 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 my heart. Lilith Peters and Johnny Lefevers is going to lead the field to green. Oh, how did I not notice that until we went to green?
I wasn't even thinking about it until you just said it. I'm like, oh, man. But we have Lefevers and Caldwell battling back here for second, side by side. Isaac Love holding on for fourth back here as you see him get a little bit loose there.
Ooh, slamming the door here on Isaac Love gets a little bit of a bump there from the 62. Super aggressive right there.
Yeah, Lefevers was not giving up that position, and Isaac Love luckily was able to slow it down just enough not to turn the 45 there, as it looks like we've got a car down on the inside. Raymond Kimmel, rookie.
Oh no! Net code between him and the 041 machine. Oh, Matthew McMeekin. I mean, I think I saw a gap when it was live, but we're gonna have to take a look at the replay. Everything looked like it was saved.
So let's look at this too.
Just too much throttle off, maybe?
Kind of looks like it.
Oh, slinky right there.
A little bit. Down into the
Almost
inside
saves
wall.
it.
Same spot as every other one.
Let's take a look here. It's trying to make the yeah, I mean, there's a gap there. But that 783, you know, doing everything he can trying to make the corner.
I barely a brush. Like, I hate it when that happens.
So Raymond Kimmel, unfortunately, now finds himself down pit road. And we have a new challenger for second place now. That's Maxwell Caldwell getting by Johnny Lefevers, finding himself up front.
Well, we'll see if Lefevers can catch Peters when they go back to green, as he's going to be starting right behind her.
Yeah, these drivers are trying to put on a good show here as we draw closer and closer to the conclusion of tonight's event. Could really use a long green flag run here with 19 laps to go. It's anybody's game. I like the drive that, just to take a look through our top five, that Jonathan Casebeer has put on tonight. Haven't really talked a lot about the drive of the 05, but Casebeer from week to week tends to have some speed, and then struggles either with the long-term run handling of the car, or finds himself in other people's misfortune. And he's done a good job at dodging wrecks tonight. We've talked about that, but he's up 21 positions from where he started tonight. Great run.
Yeah, we've definitely haven't mentioned him too much, but he always seems to be around at some point up front. Like you said, you know, he always has either, you know, a good long run car or a good short run car, but it never seems like he finds himself in the right position to take advantage of it. Like if he has a good short run car, SCL will have a long green flag run and he'll wind up fading towards the back. We'll see what happens here as he is sitting third on the inside row.
So it will be Lilith Peters with the button here on the start. And I'm thinking that 101 machine goes fairly early. That's what we're used to seeing. And yep, she will. And we are back underway here. 16 laps to go at North Wilkesboro. And Maxwell Caldwell slams the door on the 45 machine. This could be big. Wow, he saved it. Did he actually save it? For the most part, yes. I think he got turned again. That's Johnny Lefevers. But of course, this wreck will happen as a battle for the third position, probably. Look at this.
Yeah, here's the restart.
Caldwell diving down. And I don't think the 45's really expecting him to make that move. The 45's ready to enter the corner at speed.
Yeah.
And it's a very quick dive and then quick break to make the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a slam the door in your face kind of move. Not a lot of time to react.
No, not enough. But as you said, let's watch it here.
So I thought he was going to slide back up into the field and just destroy everybody. But you can see he's still got his foot in it. He's still trying to drive it. Of course, we just talked about Case Beer, and I ruined his night. That's my bad. But Case Beer did a good job at straightening the 45 back out for a moment. And looks like he was trying to throttle up there.
Yeah. Well, as we're watching that, I've got to look at something here.
Justin Lewis was given an EOL.
See what happened here.
So this is Adam Lowe in the 58. Whoa. I know it's a big deal about drivers trying to catch the field. Not quite sure what happened there.
I don't know either.
Let's take a look on board here from Justin Lewis.
Oh, he gets loose too.
That is so weird. So Maxwell Caldwell was given an EOL for that, which means we're going to extend this caution period by 1 lap, so everybody gets shuffled back. Justin Lewis also gets an EOL, so they will be holding hands at the back of the field together. And up front, look at this. Todd Merkel now finds himself as the latest competitor to the outside of Lilith Peters.
Well, we got Lilith Peters, Todd Merkel. We got Isaac Love, Ollie Marston, Jonathan Casebeer, Adam Lowe. I mean, Austin Calls up into 9th.
Yeah. Bruno Latour back there in 10th. Some great stories inside the top 10 right now. With 10 laps to go, for that matter.
Will be 9. Down and away, Lilith Peters gets that huge run once again. It looks like Todd Merkel floats a little wide, going to open the door for Morstad to kind of come into the inside, but he backs off and doesn't force it 3 wide there. Casebeer and Lowe side by side as well.
Yeah, the battle right now is for the 3rd position, as it now has dissipated, as they're going to get single file. Trying to hunt down Lilith Peters right now is Isaac Love, the rookie in the 62 machine. Can he take it to one of the more dominant racers here of SCL?
Well, Isaac's Love has run a heck of a race. He last pit on lap 62, has fresher tires than Lilith Peters. Lilith Peters is still out there hanging on, and she last pitted on lap 39.
Yeah, so Love's definitely got the tires for it. You just got to manage how aggressive you're going to be. Not a lot of laps left here with 6 to go, but definitely taking the fight to the 101 now.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have to stay patient. Force the leader to make a mistake. I mean, especially if you're Isaac Love there. Just hit your marks, nice and easy, and see where this race takes you with 5 laps to go as he gets loose.
No! He saves it. Wow. Got to regroup here. You got fresh tires. They're very angry right now, but you can definitely run that 101 down.
Austin Call is blocked back here, and he is not having it as he looks to the inside of Adam Lowe. Just can't quite get by. Adam Lowe goes to the inside of Merkel, and he's going to get by. Call's going to follow him through.
K-Spear looking to do the same here now to the inside of Merkel as Merkel finds himself falling outside of the top 5.
Yeah, Merkel had a good run there for a little while as well. Adam Lowe and Austin Call are still battling, cross each other over. Call down to the inside, going to try and take that position. We are 2 laps to go, and Lilith Peters has over a half-second lead on Isaac Love.
It was 8/10, 2 laps ago, but now Love looks like he's going to run out of time unless if Peters makes a mistake on this end or the opposite end of the racetrack.
Coming down the backstretch, closing in, but time is going to run out. Lilith Peters is going to bring home the win. Isaac Love, heck of a run for second. Ollie Marston hangs on for third.
And I think looking at our timing and scoring here, Austin Call's going to finish 4th, Todd Merkel 5th, so that battle wasn't over. Wow.
Well, let's...
Great run.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And it's Lilith Peters who takes the victory here of SCL Winston Cup action at North Wilkesboro. Went from unsuspecting competitor here to laying down an electric qualifying lap, and admittedly was not the dominant car tonight. We saw Austin Call really put a stranglehold on this race, but it all came down to strategy, Mike. We talked about it on lap 39 when these drivers decided, hey, I want to pit. That was the winning move of the race for Peters, because she pitted on lap 39 and Call stayed out and got jumbled back in traffic.
Well, the winning move of the race, I'm going to say, is hoping that there was all those cautions, because...
Well, yeah.
Because Isaac Love ran a heck of a race after being caught up in it towards the middle to end of the race, and still was able to drive on up to second. Same with Ollie there. But we still have to figure out our under pressure washing tough luck award winner. I don't know.
Well, taking a look here at our timing and scoring, I think a good answer would be GT Hawkins back here, finishing in the 26th position, down 23 spots. We saw GT with a great run, sort of derailed by a lap car here early on in this event, and took away what could have been the top 3 effort tonight from GT in that 14 Toyota.
I definitely think I'm going to agree with you and go with him as well, because he was running pretty well. He had that lap car that got basically into the way, but slid up, looked like maybe a little net code kind of destroyed his evening. Maybe this race would be a little bit different. So as we go from that, who do you want to talk to first?
Well, let's go to the race winner.
All right. You can talk to Lilith.
All right. Bring her in. Lilith, it's Zach Woods and Mike Damoni up in the booth.
I gotcha.
Good to be chatting with you here, Lilith, for a victory here at North Wilkesboro. I have to admit, I had my doubts as we were taking a look at practice. Saw the 101 machine in a position I personally have not seen in SCL competition. You were 18th, 19th on the board in practice, and then laid down a second place qualifying effort. Did you know you had that in the bag? Were you just not able to lay down a practice lap? And because ultimately you did have speed tonight.
I was just testing brake settings and long run stuff in practice. I never actually ran a heater. So I kind of just went for it and it stuck in qualifying. I don't think I was the quickest car, but that didn't really matter tonight.
Yeah, you were able to sort of survive the chaos there in that last about 2/3 of the night's event, and put that 101 in a position where you could capitalize on those restarts. What is the go-to move here at North Wilkesboro? It's an older racing surface. Restarts can be hard, and you don't exactly have the freshest tires on this ride. So what was your key to continuously getting good restart after good restart to seal this one?
You have to have a lot of throttle control on the restart because it's first gear, but it's kind of just about being straight and not overdoing it. And if you get to go whenever you want, so I usually had the good advantage there.
And Lilith, something that for Mike and I up in the booth, it was a little odd for us. Maybe you could provide some clarity as the race winner tonight. We saw a lot of drivers get loose in the weirdest spot, at least for us up here in the booth, which was about halfway down through the front stretch. Is there a shift point that is odd there? Why were there so many drivers struggling with such a odd part of the racetrack?
Just like in real life, you really can't go full throttle till the end unless you're straight. So if you're like full throttle off of the corner and keep it there, you'll start spinning around the checkered flag. That's a big problem if you're not careful.
Well, thank you for the insight, Lilith, because we up here in the booth, we didn't quite know what to make of it. So do you have anyone to thank? I know you have thank yous and sponsors for tonight's P1 event.
I'll thank my sponsor, Luna Steak Sauce. You can buy it at foxfirefoods.com. I think that's my third win. Get them in victory lane again. And thank my teammates, Jeremy and Justin. I don't think they had good races, but good moral support. Thanks for broadcasting, Zach and Mike.
Well, you did a great job out there, and I think it's a new paint, if I'm not mistaken. So
Is it the white one?
For me, it's like half white, and it's got like a black racing stripe down the.
Oh yeah. I like to thank
yeah.
Jack actually. Jack Sanders, he made that.
Okay, all
thanks,
right.
Jack.
Well, the new ride looks sharp, and you pilot it to a P1 finish. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Well, Mike, I'm going to bring up our second place finisher. Our second place finisher, Isaac Love, is with us up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I have a copy.
I'm going to give it over to you, Mike.
Hey, man. Heck of a run. You found yourself in a couple early predicaments, but how are you able to maintain your composure and battle back up here and get a P2 finish?
Well, really, just trying to stay patient. I felt like I was pretty confident in the race early on, and then I got into that wreck and started at the back about midway through the race. So I was just very cautious on what was going on around me and just tried to work my way up through the field and play it safe.
Yeah, definitely looked like that. We were talking repeatedly in the broadcast about how patience is key. How were you able to maintain that, dealing with everything that was going on in the back half of that field? Just kind of situational awareness?
Well, I think it was a lot to do with luck, because every time I was in a high groove, the wrecks happened at the bottom, and every time I was on the bottom, the wrecks happened up top. So really, just coming up through the field was luck. It's like flipping a coin, if you ask me.
Definitely. Well, this is the first time I got to talk to you with actually being on the podium. You were a hard luck winner a couple times, but before we let you go, anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here for your P2 finish?
I just want to thank Sunday Cup League for putting these races together and letting us come out and have a good time Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. You know, a lot of guys that really enjoy this, and I guess they take a break from their weekly life.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your P2 finish, and maybe we'll talk to you next week at Atlanta.
Thank you.
It was cool talking to him. I don't really get to talk to Isaac a whole lot up here in the booth, so good to see a new face up here. Mike, I gotta admit, we saw this paint scheme way back in the first race of the season. I remember telling you that if a certain driver of a Napa variety drove this car on Sundays, I would be upset. This paint scheme is sharp, and I am so excited to be interviewing Ollie Marston up here in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, you drove an up and down race tonight. I know at one point we were talking about you up here in the booth saying with the yo-yo kind of night you had, at the time you were 10th, being in the same place that you started was a bit of an achievement for you. What was it like out there tonight here at North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, there's no grip here, so everyone is like spinning out off the corners, but it was good. I thought we had some good pace in our car. I drove up pretty well, but then obviously I spun out and I was at the back and I drove back up again. I think I got a good bit of luck there when the 94 got penalized, which moved me and Todd up a row, which I think helped me a lot to get up here.
Now, Ollie, we've seen some speed out of you throughout this season, but I would say this is probably one of your better races in terms of racecraft. You were super aggressive at times, making your way up through the field. What about North Wilkesboro suits your driving style personally?
Well, when I started testing here, very little, but I think I just kind of got into a groove where I was able to pass cars. I like that it's multi-groove. I think it's hard when you're in a race where you're just like the only way to pass is either to dive bomb or to bump someone, which is not how I like to race. So I like those multi-groove. I like that you can kind of run in the middle, but yeah, generally I'm scared of this track, but I got some good luck here today.
Put it all together here tonight. Good job. Do you have any thank you sponsors or shout outs you want to give for tonight's event?
Yeah, shout out to my family who I know is watching. Just thank you to you guys for broadcasting this, SCL for putting it on. I think there's some pretty good officiating here, and I think they did a great job. So yeah, just thank you to everyone who put on this show.
All right, driver of the number 35, Ollie Marston, go.
Thank you.
Well, that was neat, Mike. We got to talk to a couple drivers we don't normally get to talk to up here in the booth.
Yeah, definitely haven't heard them in a while. I know Ollie was doing pretty good on one racetrack and then got bumped and hit that instant limit and got DQ'd, and he was going to win that race. So that kind of put a little damper on that. But tonight you said we were going to have good racing, and overall it wasn't too bad for being North Wilkesboro. Yeah,
definitely. There's you're gonna find yourself in some predicaments here at a track like this, but ultimately it's we had a really good finish, right? We had a good run to the checkers and good contest by all here. Mike, I feel like I've been dominating the grid talk. I mean, I want to give you the option if you would like to go down the running order, but if you don't, I would take the finishing results here.
You can take it. You're doing such a good job.
Okay, I that's kind of what I figured, but I don't have assume. So let's take a look here, everybody, at the finishing results here. Throwback week here at North Wilkesboro. Of course, we already talked to our first three finishers of tonight's event: Lilith Peters, Isaac Love, and Ollie Marston, finishing on your podium tonight. Austin Call is going to bring that 18 machine home fourth. You kind of wonder what might have been for the drive of the 18 machine. Todd Merkel is going to bring that Merkel Racing Engines number 2 machine home fifth. A good run from him as he was battling Adam Lowe and Jonathan Casebeer as well for the 5th position at the end of tonight's event. We saw a lot of the 400 of Matt Schlosser. He will come home 8th. Lee Campbell with that 014 machine brings it back 9th, and then Johnny Lefevers Jr. from getting that late block here on the second to last, or the last caution of tonight's event, will finish in the 10th position. Brennan Cornier will finish 11th in that 891. He's a rookie for us up here in the booth, so we'll have to get in contact with him about perhaps name pronunciation, because he was up in the mix multiple times tonight. Justin Lewis in that 07, followed by Maxwell Caldwell, 2 drivers you'd expect to see up front, sort of with moot runs tonight here in 12th and 13th, with Bruno Latour finishing 14th and Michael Caffrey finishing the last car on the lead lap. Ronnie Hurst in the 88 machine will finish 1 lap down in 16th, followed by Matthew McMeekin, Raymond Kimmel, Joshua Yarborough, and Justin Horton finishing 20th. Mike Peters had a very fast number 95 machine, found himself in trouble late and finishes 21st. Jeremy Flanagan, also involved in that similar incident in the 872 machine, will come home 22nd. Ricky Barbary in the 54, we saw him up front multiple times tonight, will finish 19 laps down, 23rd. Bryce Bailey in the 868 will finish 24th. 25th will go to the driver of the number 20, Brandon Murray, the rookie. And then the winner of the Tough Luck Award, the Under Pressure Washing Tough Luck Award, will go to GT Hawkins. Great qualifying effort, good early run speed. Unfortunate caution early takes him out early. Looking forward to seeing perhaps GT back here in SCL competition, see what he might have for another day. Jeffrey Weimer will finish 27th, and then we have a number of drivers who queued into the session but did not take laps. We have Cole Watts, who is slotted in the 28th position for tonight's event, with Brandon Herzing, Mark Brown, Chad Wheeler, Cody Oliphant, and Gary Maydew, all not putting down time. So, Mike, I think we were treated to a good one here tonight. I agree with you. It was spotty at times, but ultimately we had a good ending for tonight's race here at North Wilkesboro.
We definitely did. We had lots of action. We had a couple long green flag runs. We had a green flag run to the finish, and that's all you can ask for. But SCL will look to continue this tomorrow and Wednesday. You can see them in a couple different cars there, but same track. And then after that, they will wrap up all 3 series as they head to Atlanta to crown the championship of all 3 series as well. Zach will be back with you tomorrow and Wednesday. I will not, but from all the drivers of the SCL Cup Series and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night, and we will see you next time here on the track.